she is supervising MPhil and PhD students in the field of management. She has initiated, designed, and conducted various add-on and micro-certification courses in department, presented and published various research papers in UGC CARE, Scopus Index, ABDC journals. She has participated in various faculty development programs, international and national conferences, and recently published national and international patent as well. She has also published book chapters and also a reviewer, board committee member, and additional board member of various reputed international and national journals. She has also awarded with Excellent Research Award 2022 by Shobit University. Ma'am, we heartily welcome you. And now I would like to invite our today's guest, Preeti Garg ma'am, to kindly deliver her lecture. Dr. Preeti Garg ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a warm welcome. It's an honor for me. Ma'am, I want to share my PPT.
Yes, ma'am, you are eligible to do that.
Yes, ma'am, thank you so much. Anita, ma'am, thank you so much. So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Preeti Garg, an associate professor in Shobit University. Today, I'm invited to deliver a lecture on data management and documentation. Now, we all know that data is the foundation on which business is built. Without data, no business, no organization can make decision and can be successful. So successful management of data is, in today's scenario, is very critical and very, very important. Now, today my topic is data management and documentation. Now, data management and documentation plays a very crucial role in the internal quality assurance cell of the institution or in any university. Now, IQAC is responsible for ensuring, for enhancing the quality of education, the institution process. For that, effective data management and documentation practices is very important for the success or for the effectiveness of IQAC. Now, what is the importance of data management and documentation? Data management and documentation plays a very crucial, very important role in the inspection process, in the accreditation process. Now, the first importance of data management and documentation is evidence-based decision making. On the basis of data management, IQAC needs accurate and reliable data so that they can make decisions, right? Quality assurance process, it is a responsibility of the IQAC for monitoring and evaluating the various aspects of institutional quality and how they will evaluate, how they will monitor with the help of data, with the help of data management, right? What type of data? They need a data related to academic programs. They need a data related to performance of faculty, student outcomes, infrastructure, and other relevant parameters. Compliance and accreditation. Now, in today's scenario, every educational institutes are required to, compliance, required to get themselves accreditation, undergo accreditation process. For that purpose, data management, documentation is very important. Now, beside these, institutional memory. Now, effective data management and documentation creates institutional memory. It helps in the long-term sustainability. It helps in the success of an institution. It helps in the success of university in enhancing the quality parameters. Transparency and accountability. Transparency and accountability is important for every institution, for every organization, for every university, and continuous improvement.
तो मेरा ये चल गया, मैं इसको से हट जाऊं, फोन को फ्री कर दूं।
IQAC task is to make continuous improvement
कैसे ले
in
लेता
the
है, पहले नहीं पता, नहीं स्क्रीनशॉट ले लेना लैपटॉप से।
IQAC task is to make a continuous improvement in the academics, in the infrastructure, in providing quality parameters, in providing, in improving the performance of the faculty, infrastructure, right? So by systematically documenting these aspects, the IQAC can track the progress, identify the gaps, and implement targeting interventions to drive improvement. They have to track the progress of the university. They have to track the progress of institutions. With the help of these documents, with the help of proper data management, they can continuously make improvements in the areas where they can find gaps. Now we all are aware about the NAAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council. Now NAAC has given 7 criteria, right? Now the first criteria is curricular aspects, curriculum designing and development. Now in all these criteria, we have to do a proper data management. We have to there should be a proper documentation. Then only we can get good results. Then only we get good grades. Now the first thing is curriculum planning and implementation. We have to prepare our documents about the mechanism for planning curriculum delivery and documentation. Now in this criteria, we have to keep the detail of CBCS. CBCS means choice-based credit system, elective courses, and how we can make do a data management by collecting the certificates, by designing the curriculum, by keeping the details of students who have enrolled in these courses, right? By keeping the attendance sheets of the students, right? Now another thing is in this criteria is now students have to submit the projects in their semesters, in their particular year. They have to go for internship. For that, we need to keep the details of this project. We need to keep the details of the certificates which they received after completion of these projects. If students are going for internship, then we have to keep the record of the internship letter which they receive from the companies. Now, many institutes, many universities, they are providing a value-added courses, micro-certificate courses to their students. Again, we have to keep the mechanism. We have to show the mechanism of the designing of this course, right? We have to keep the record of the students who have enrolled themselves in these courses. If any changes has been done in the curriculum by the Board of Studies, then also we have to keep the record. Now, in this criteria, there are many parameters. I'm not going too much into detail. We have to collect the feedback system, which is very, very important in this criteria. And the purpose of feedback system in this criteria is to review the syllabus. Review the syllabus semester-wise and year-wise. Now, from where we collect the feedback? We have to collect feedback from the different stakeholders. We have to collect feedback from students. We have to collect feedback from teachers, employers, alumni, and parents. Now, for that, we need to prepare a template, a proper feedback form, which cover all the criteria, all the parameters of criteria 1, and after collecting feedback from all these stakeholders, we have to done the analysis to understand the outcome, right? Now, next criteria of NAAC is criteria 2, which is teaching, learning, and evaluation, which is very, very important. Now, this criteria is divided into 7 parameters. Now, the first is student enrollment and profile, catering to student diversity, teaching, learning, and process, teacher profile and quality, evaluation process, and reforms. And the last one is student performance and learning outcomes. Now, the first parameter in teaching, learning, and evaluation is student enrollment and profile. Now, in this, we have to collect data about number of seats available year-wise of the particular institutes, number of seats in different programs. Let's take an example, number of how many seats are there in BBA, how many seats are there in MBA, MCA, BCA, BSc. So we have to collect the data of number of seats available. Then we have to collect the data and manage the data of number of seats filled against reserve categories, right? We have to collect the data, total number of eligible application received and total number of seats filled against sanctioned seats. So that data we required in this criteria. Then the next is catering to student diversity. In every institute, in every university, students are coming from different parts of a country. They're coming from different parts of the world also. So we have to arrange special programs for advanced learner and slow learner. Beside this, we have to collect data of different student-centric methods such as experiential learning, participative learning, and problem-solving methodologies, which we use to enhance the teaching and learning experiences of students. Now, for these, we need a documentation. We have to prove the bodies that we are doing this in our institutions and we are making and keeping records of it. Beside this, teachers today are using ICT-enabled tools that enhance the quality of teaching and learning process. Number of methods, number of tools are available, like SWAYAM is there, NPTEL is there, ShotShuddhi is there, Sindhu is there, plagiarism software we are using, then we are using Telnet. Number of ICT-enabled tools are available. Whether teachers are using it, whether teachers are promoting it to students, when students are enrolling themselves in these SWAYAM programs. So we have to keep that record also. Then the most important thing in this criteria too, that is mentoring process, which is very important and nowadays it becomes mandatory. Now, every faculty has to play a role of mentor and number of mentees are being assigned to a mentor. Now, what is the role of mentor? The role of a mentor is to understand the problems which students are facing related to academic or non-academic activities. Now, how can a mentor, how can a faculty can keep a record? For that, mentoring data should be prepared by a IQAC and that mentoring data should be filled by a mentee in front of mentor. Right? Now, in our university, what we do is like every month we conduct a mentor-mentee meeting where we understand the problems of mentee and we try to counsel them, we try to sort out their problems. Now, next thing in this criteria is how many full-time teachers are appointed against the number of sanctioned posts. For that, we have to prepare a full-time teacher details, the name, their PAN card, their Aadhaar card, their resumes, their offer letter. So in that way, we can keep the record. Now, in this slide, you can see the special program for advanced learner and special program for slow learners. Now, how can we define, how can we identify that these students are our slow learner and these students are our advanced learner? Now, basically, slow learners are always the poor achievers and those who lag behind with the academic life. They may fail in the exams or those who score a poor grades. We consider them as a slow learner. When we talk about advanced learner, means those who are faster in learning, who are faster than other students in the class, who score higher or good grades, who have made a significant achievement in their life. We consider them an advanced learner. Now, what programs we are conducting for advanced learner? We are providing them coaching for competitive exams. For that, we need to prepare a record. If a student has cleared the exam, then we have to keep a record in the form of their admit card or in the form of their scorecard. Special scholarship, involvement in research projects, enrollment in MOOC courses like SWAYAM, NPTEL. Those who participate, then participation in debates, group discussions, technical quizzes, and we also offer seed money to them for innovative proposals. Then advanced learners are those who participate in the seminars, workshops, conferences. Now, these are the programs which we organize time to time for the advanced learner. But now, what we are doing for the slow learners, what institutions are doing for the slow learners, we can't ignore them. We have to make an extra efforts to help slow learners. We provide them counseling sessions. If student is facing any problem, like during exam, many students we found that they are going under anxiety or they are going under depression. So we need to counsel them. If student is from South India and they are facing language problem, then we have to counsel them. For that, we need to keep record of the counseling sessions, remedial extra classes for the students who are slow, those who got poor grades in the exams, summer classes for slow learners, regular assignments, support of alumni, tutorials, yoga sessions, communication skills classes for those who are a poor or those who need a communication classes so that there can be improvement in their communication skills. Now, there are some pictures I've shown. In this, like we are conducting a personal development classes for our students, especially for the master's degree final year students. Then SWAYAM lectures are there, communication classes are there, yoga sessions are there. So these pictures help during when we go for an accreditation or some compliance program. Now, criteria 2 says that all the teaching and learning activities are divided into 3 categories: participative learning, experiential learning, and problem-solving methodologies. Now, there are 24 methods, and here I'm showing 24 methods, and it varies from institute to institute, university to university. Here I'm showing just 24 methods which we are using in teaching and learning. And these 24 methods is being
गौरी मैम प्लीज अपने आप को म्यूट करें. गौरी मैम, गौरी गोयल मैम, विकास सर, you are disturbing the meeting. Please mute. Thank you so much.
These 24 methods is being divided into 3 categories: participative learning methods, experiential methods, and problem-solving methods. Now, these methods vary from course to course, program to program. Like, for example, in BBA, we use different learning methods, teaching learning methods, and in engineering, we use different teaching learning methods. In agriculture, we use different methods for teaching our students. Now, in participating learning, the methods which we are using to teach students or to enhance their learning are role play, teamwork methods, group discussions, panel discussions and debates, students club activities, cultural activities, project work, seminar, NPTEL, SWAYAM, design projects. Now, what are the methods which we have covered in experiential learning methods? Laboratory work, because here we do experiments, workshop for mechanical students, mood court for law students, field work for management or agriculture students, apps development for CS students, industry internship, which is now mandatory for any course or in any programs. Now, problem solving methodologies, case studies. Now we put a case in front of students and ask them to solve in form of case studies, written assignments, presentations, quizzes, caselets, tutorials, demonstrations. So these are some examples of teaching learning methods which has been categorized into 3 categories: participative learning, experiential learning, and problem solving methodologies. Again, how we can do a documentation? We can do a documentation by making a report, by clicking pictures and putting in a report. Now, when I talk about report making, there should be a uniform template, or I say a uniform format of writing a report for every department in institution. So there should be a proper format to make report writing uniform in every school or in every department of a particular institution. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि उन्होंने report अलग तरीके से बनाई, किसी डिपार्टमेंट ने रिपोर्ट अलग तरीके से बनाई. There should be a proper uniform template. Why I'm saying this? ये आपके डॉक्यूमेंटेशन के लिए, आपके रिकॉर्डिंग के लिए, आपके मैनेजमेंट के लिए इजी हो जाएगी. ये कोई भी इवेंट है, कोई भी क्लब एक्टिविटी है, कोई भी इंडस्ट्रियल विजिट है, रिपोर्ट शुड बी सबमिटेड इन दिस वे. So IQAC has to prepare a report, prepare a format in a uniform manner. Next important thing is ICT enabled tools. Now, number of ICT enabled tools are being used by teachers for effective teaching, learning and process. E-journals are there, SWAYAM is there, National Digital Library is there, जहाँ पे students भी enroll, register कर रहे हैं, faculties भी register कर रहे हैं, EPG पाठशाला, शोध गंगा, NPTEL, SWAYAM Prabha. Now, every university, every institution, they have their own, ERP system. And now, university we use Qualcomm. Vidwan, every faculty has done his or her registration in Vidwan, Shuddhi, and eShod Sindhu. So, how can we keep recording? We can keep recording by taking a screenshot, by asking students to register themselves in these platforms, by asking teachers to get themselves enrolled in these platforms. Now, beside this, these are the another tools which we use, or which we called an ICT enabled tools. Now, in criteria 2, how can we do a documentation? We can do a documentation in, we can ask students to prepare a course file. Now, the first important thing is, asking teachers, faculties to prepare a course file. Now, the important thing in the course file is lecture plan. These are some parameters which I have shown in this slide, which need to be covered in the lecture plan. Because जब भी inspections होते हैं, especially NAAC के या NIRF के या NBA के या UGC के, so it helps during proving that we are doing these things, and mandatory we are doing these things from in the form of course file. Now, course file में कई सारे parameters cover हो जाते हैं. जैसे for example, हम बात करें आपका vision and mission of the university, a vision and mission of the institution, vision and mission of the department हम mention करेंगे, program educational objectives, program outcomes, program specific outcomes हम mention करेंगे. ये course wise mention करेंगे. Like for example, मैं अगर marketing management की course file बना रही हूँ, तो मैं यूनिवर्सिटी के इंस्टीट्यूट के आउटकम्स तो लिखूंगी, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स लिखूंगी, पर मैं अपने कोर्स के भी लिखूंगी. देन कोर्स सिलेबस, Now, this syllabus need to be signed by a faculty. At the end of the syllabus, bottom पे concerned faculty member अपने sign करेगा. Then the academic calendar, class timetable, lecture plan, then course outcome and mapping of POs and PSOs, which is very important. Now, in this course file, the faculty has to keep the notes and also has to write down the importance of the course. What student will get after completing this course? क्या उसकी skills में improvement हो रहा होगा, या employability अच्छी होगी, या वो entrepreneurship में जा सकता है. So that note has to be prepared by a faculty. How this course is going to benefit a student. Then lecture notes, list of PowerPoint presentation, university, institution question papers, short and long question bank, quiz questions. Now you can see that 17, 18, 19 points. आप इसमें student centric methods हम use कर सकते हैं. जैसे हम short questions भी देते हैं, long questions भी देते हैं, हम quizzes भी देते हैं, हम assignments भी देते हैं time पे, हम case study भी करवाते हैं, हम आइडेंटिफाई करते कि कौन सी क्लास में हमारे स्टूडेंट्स एडवांस लर्नर में हैं या कौन से स्टूडेंट्स स्लो लर्नर में हैं, एंड व्हाट वी आर डूइंग फॉर द स्लो लर्नर्स, लाइक वी आर गिविंग देम एक्स्ट्रा लेक्चर्स, वी आर गिविंग देम रेमेडियल क्लासेस, so we can keep the list of slow learner and advanced learner also. Then we have to prepare a documentation of remedial classes for slow learner, right? कि हमने इस दिन टाइम टेबल मेंशन कर दिया कि we are conducting remedial classes for the slow learners, और इस रूम में हमने ये लेक्चर किया. Now what we are doing है advanced learner, हमने उनको कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स की तैयारी करवाई है, हमने उनको मैट की तैयारी करवाई है, हमने उनको टॉपिक की तैयारी करवाई है, हमने उनको मोटिवेट करा है कि अपना जाके रिसर्च पेपर एक प्रेजेंट करो किसी कॉन्फ्रेंस में. देन करिकुलम एग्जिट सर्वे फॉर्म, हमने क्राइटेरिया 1 में बात करी फीडबैक फॉर्म के लिए, यहाँ बात करें करिकुलम एग्जिट सर्वे फॉर्म. यहाँ कुछ क्वेश्चंस फ्रेम करेंगे, स्टूडेंट से पूछेंगे क्या करिकुलम जो है इस कोर्स का, इज इट ओके, is there a need to change it, need to revise it, concerned faculty member ठीक से पढ़ा रहा है, what are your inputs, क्या आप चाह रहे हो, what type of assignments you are looking for, what type of case study you are looking for. तो इसमें हम करिकुलम एग्जिट सर्वे फॉर्म भी हम कलेक्ट करते हैं स्टूडेंट्स के, अटेंडेंस रजिस्टर एंड प्लान ऑफ एक्शन टू इंप्रूव सीयू अटेनमेंट नेक्स्ट ईयर. मींस अगर किसी कंसर्न फैकल्टी को लगता है कि देयर इज अ नीड कि हमें कुछ इंप्रूव करना है, हम कोर्स आउटकम में हमें कुछ इंप्रूव करना है, या हमें ऐसा लगता है कि टीचिंग में मुझे कुछ इंप्रूव करना है, तो यू कैन प्लान ऑफ एक्शन, यू कैन गिव योर प्लान दैट दिस नीड टू बी इंप्रूव in next year, right? Now again, what other things which we have to keep in the form of documentation, like teacher profile and quality. Now teacher profile and quality means how many teachers are full-time in your institution, how many teachers are PhD qualified or postdoctoral. How can we do documentation? By keeping a record, by giving a list of full-time teachers, by collecting the degree certificates of PhD or some postdoctoral. In next is average teaching experience of full-time teachers. अब ये कैसे collect करेंगे भाई? हमने list बनाई teachers की. Obviously, इसमें data templates आते हैं. As I mentioned in this, we have to keep record in a proper data template. टीचर्स के नाम डाले, डेजिग्नेशन डाला, कितने एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर है, सॉरी कितने प्रोफेसर है, कितने एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर है, कितने असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर है, कितने आ रहे हैं, डिपार्टमेंट वाइज एंड एक्सपीरियंस डिटेल. फॉर एग्जांपल हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट में दिस फैकल्टी इज हियर फ्रॉम लास्ट 15 years, राइट? देन नेक्स्ट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, नेक्स्ट parameter is 2.4.4. Here we have to keep record of those faculty members who have received awards, who have received some recognition, fellowship, national level, state level, international level, right? So again, we collect e-copies of these awards which faculty received from state level, national level, or international level. Now, in criteria 2, teaching, we have talked about teaching, we have talked about learning. Now the evaluation process, how we evaluate. Now we can do evaluation with the help of examination. तो यहाँ पे क्या करना है हमें? List of programs and date of last semester. कितने सारे हमारे programs है, like in हमारे कॉलेज में 24 programs है, BBA, BCom, B Economics, BCA, MBA, MCom, MSc, BTech, MTech, PhD, number of programs are there. कैसे पता चलेगा कितने स्टूडेंट्स ने ये एग्जाम्स क्वालिफाई करे, राइट? इसके अलावा हम जो रिकॉर्ड कीपिंग करते हैं डॉक्यूमेंटेशन की, दैट इज द स्टूडेंट्स कंप्लेन ग्रीवेंसेस. किसी स्टूडेंट ने कंप्लेन करी कि मुझे स्क्रूटनी करवानी है, या मैं एग्जाम में अपियर नहीं हो पाया बिकॉज मेरे कुछ मेडिकल ग्राउंड्स थे. सो हाउ कैन वी डू अ रिकॉर्ड कीपिंग? by documenting those applications which students have received. या तो इस तरह की कंप्लेन्स हम ग्रीवेंसेस के फॉर्म में, या कोई कंप्लेन है वो उसकी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करें. Next is IT integration and reforms in the examination process and procedure. Yes, in our university we are fully 100% these are IT integration and reforms, and we have an ERP system जहाँ पे हम आपका हॉल टिकट जनरेट कर सकते हैं, वहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स ग्रीवेंसेस अपनी डाल सकते हैं, हमारा रिजल्ट डिस्प्ले होता है थ्रू ERP, राइट? सो एवरीथिंग इज देयर ऑन ERP. जो आपके ड्यूरिंग कोविड ऑनलाइन एग्जाम्स हुए थे, दैट इज आल्सो बीइंग कंडक्टेड थ्रू कॉल. तो हमारा जो IT integration and reforms are there in the examination procedure in our university. And how can we prove it? We can submit the examination manual. Last is student performance and learning outcomes. जितने भी हमारे syllabus है, right? हमें क्या है उसमें COs and POs और PSOs are mentioned. So we have to upload all the COs of different programs of different courses. And now it is important that whether we have attained these program outcomes with program specific outcomes and course outcomes. There is a procedure which help to evaluate the attainment program. I'm not going much into it because उसके लिए तो अलग ही एक lecture की जरूरत पड़ जाएगी. Then pass percentage of students. भाई हमारे यहाँ 2000-3000 students हैं. How we can prove? We can prove by showing the pass percentage of students, program code, name of the program, number of students who appeared for the examination, number of students who passed, pass percentage. And the last thing which is important in this criteria is online student satisfaction survey, right? Next thing which we have to keep in mind in criteria 2 is in the form what documents which we have to prepare. In this criteria, we have to prepare a lecture planning course file. It is very important for faculties to keep a course file of subject which they are teaching in particular program. Then details of the remedial classes for slow learners, detail of guest faculties, of workshops, seminars, or some personal development classes, grooming session for advanced learner. We have to keep the attendance of the students, what type of IT integration tools which we are using. We can either take a screenshot when student have done a registration, or if any student have cleared that particular program from SWAYAM, NPTEL, eSindhu, then we can take a photocopy of that particular scorecard. Then question bank, tutorials, mentoring data card. So in this way we can keep the records. Next, criteria 3 is all about research, innovation, and extension. Now, in this research, innovation, and extension, what IQAC has to do, IQAC has to keep the records of publication, research publication. The faculties, the students which have published the research paper in UGC, ABTC, Scopus, Elsevier. So we have to keep the record of these publications. And always remember this, whenever you are citing the name of your institution, of your college, it should be correct and should be uniform. ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई कुछ लिख रहा है, कोई कुछ लिख रहा है. There should be a format. There should be a uniform way of writing your name, your name of your institution, your college in a uniform manner. Then, in this, number of patents published by faculties, workshops, conferences has been conducted. Number of quality workshops, conferences has been conducted. JRF and SRF enrollment, extramural funding. Have you received any extramural funding? Means grants, financial assistance from some external organization like AICT, right, from UGC. So you have to keep document of that. Then also, have you received seed money, right? So in criteria 3, you have to keep record of grants which you have received from government or some international bodies or some from corporate house or from industries, number of workshop and seminars which you have conducted time to time, research publications, any award received by a teacher, right? Number of book chapters published by a faculty member, any e-content has been developed by a teacher in the platform of EPG Pathshala, Swayam, MOOCs platform, right? So you have to keep record of that. Consultancy, any revenue generated from consultancy and corporate training, that has to be documented. Extension activities in the neighborhood community in terms of किसी गांव को आपने गोद ली है या आपने स्टूडेंट्स को भेज के कोई सोशल इश्यूज के बारे में अवेयरनेस करी है या आपने किसी गांव में जाके खाता कैसे खोलते हैं बैंक में ऑनलाइन. So extension activities, number of award received by the institution, by the teachers and the student from government or some government recognized bodies. So that certificate can also be documented, can be used as a proof that we are also focusing on the extension activities. Because nowadays, see, it is very important कि हम पढ़ तो रहे हैं, but what we are doing for the society, उसका outcome क्या है? So इस पढ़ाने के अलावा, yes, we are thinking for the society. Yes, we are generating revenue from the consultancy, from the corporate training. हमारे teachers जाके वहाँ पे उन्हें सिखा रहे हैं, workshop conduct कर रहे हैं, या किसी government ITI के लोगों को बुला के training दे रहे हैं. And in 3.7 we talk about the collaborative activities. हमने कोई functional MOU sign करे हैं with institutions. हमने कोई project करा है किसी दूसरी यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ या किसी गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ, राइट? फैकल्टी एक्सचेंज प्रोग्राम्स हुए कि नहीं, कोलैबोरेटिव रिसर्च हुई है कि नहीं. सो दैट कम्स अंडर criteria 3. Now criteria 4 talks about infrastructure and learning resources. Now see, criteria 1 is all about curriculum design. Criteria 2 is about teaching, learning and evaluation. Criteria 3 talks about research and extension activities, consultancy. Now, criteria 4 says, क्या हमारे पास वो infrastructure है? Do we have a learning resources? Now, इसमें क्या, what we have to do, whether the institution has adequate facilities for teaching and learning in terms of classroom, whether we have a required number of classrooms, laboratories, equipments for testing, whether we have facilities for the cultural activities, for yoga, for games, sports, right? So we have to keep record of that, right? Now next is about library management. हमारे पास कितने subscriptions हैं e-resources के, right? कितना हम खर्चा करते हैं to purchase books, so that receipt has to be kept. हमारा IT इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर कैसा है, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल हमारे क्लासरूम में कितने LCD प्रोजेक्टर्स हैं, कितने स्मार्ट बोर्ड्स हैं, कितना वाईफाई है, राइट? सो दैट need to be included in the infrastructure and learning resources. इसके अलावा whether we have a media center, audiovisual center, learning capturing system, right? Software editing tools are there. Now in this, obviously every criteria has its own data template to enter data. Now this is an example. Now various type of reading material we have, number of books, volume and the total number. Like for example, number of book volumes मेरे पास है 10,000 something, number of book titles है 15,000 something, total volume journals मेरे पास national international journals कहाँ से कितने आते हैं, research dissertation by students, current international journals मेरे पास कितने हैं, current national journals मेरी library में कितने हैं, कितनी मेरी magazines आते हैं, कितने तरह के newspapers आते हैं. So that total number need to be mentioned in this data template. Now criteria 5. Criteria 5 talks about student support and progression. What we are doing for the support of our students and उनकी progress कैसी है. भी हम उनको पढ़ा अच्छा रहे, infrastructure अच्छा दे रहे, research में उनको involve कर रहे, अब उनका progression का क्या है, right? Student support में scholarships, pre-ships provided by the institutions, government and non-government agencies, right? हम उनको सपोर्ट करने के लिए क्या हम करियर काउंसलिंग कंडक्ट कर रहे हैं, either we are helping them in providing them a career counseling, either we are guiding them for competitive exams. क्या करते हैं हम मैट की तैयारी करवाते हैं, हम टॉपिक की तैयारी करवाते हैं, क्या हम कैपेसिटी डेवलपमेंट स्किल एनहेंसमेंट इनिशिएटिव लेते हैं, सॉफ्ट स्किल्स की ट्रेनिंग करवाते हैं, लैंग्वेज एंड कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स पे हम फोकस करते हैं, हम योगा पे फोकस करते हैं, हम स्टूडेंट्स को अवेयर करवाते हैं भाई कौन से लेटेस्ट ट्रेंड्स है टेक्नोलॉजी में. जैसे हम बात करें बिग डेटा की बात करें तो हम बिग डेटा के वर्कशॉप करवाते हैं, हम सर्टिफिकेट कोर्सेज करवाते हैं स्टूडेंट्स को, हम IoT की ट्रेनिंग करवाते हैं, हम स्टूडेंट्स को लेटेस्ट ट्रेंड्स के बारे में बताते हैं, राइट? हम कौन कौन से नए कोर्सेज हैं उनके बारे में बताते हैं. इसके अलावा स्टूडेंट सपोर्ट एंड प्रोग्रेशन में आते हैं रिड्रेसल ऑफ स्टूडेंट ग्रीवेंसेस. अगर कोई ग्रीवेंसेस है स्टूडेंट्स की तो किस तरह से हम रिड्रेस करते हैं, किस उसको सॉल्व करते हैं. अब डॉक्यूमेंटेशन में व्हाट वी डू इज लाइक वी हैव टू कीप एट द मिनट्स ऑफ द मीटिंग. हम मिनट्स ऑफ द मीटिंग सबमिट करते हैं, इंटरनल कंप्लेंट्स की, राइट? एंटी रैंकिंग कमिटीज है हमारी, तो जब भी कुछ होता है तो हम मंथली मीटिंग करते हैं और ये मीटिंग के मिनट्स हैं. नाउ अगेन वी हैव टू कीप अ रिकॉर्ड. हमने बोला कि हम स्टूडेंट्स को सपोर्ट करते हैं और उनकी प्रोग्रेस में उनको गाइड करते हैं. नाउ दे कैन आस्क फॉर द एविडेंस. क्या है, क्या एविडेंस है? भी हमारे स्टूडेंट ने क्लैट का एग्जाम क्लियर किया, दिस इज द स्कोर कार्ड. GRE का एग्जाम क्लियर करा है, GMAT का करा है, मैट का करा है, तो वी कैन शो द स्कोर कार्ड. इसके अलावा व्हेन वी आर कंडक्टिंग एनी ट्रेनिंग वी कैन submit a report by putting up pictures in a report, so that is also a kind of a documentation. इसके अलावा भाई स्टूडेंट को सपोर्ट करा, प्रोग्रेस करा, नाउ दे आर एम्प्लॉयड इन सम कंपनीज, प्लेसमेंट हुआ. अब प्रूव कैसे करेंगे? जो ऑफर लेटर्स उनको हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को मिले, वी कैन सबमिट दोज ऑफर लेटर्स, अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर्स, राइट? इसके अलावा विद प्रोग्रेशन में कितने स्टूडेंट्स, UG स्टूडेंट्स ने PG में एडमिशन लिया, कितने PG वाले स्टूडेंट्स ने PhD में एडमिशंस लिया. सो वी हैव टू कीप दैट रिकॉर्ड आल्सो, राइट? तो उनका प्रोग्रेस कैसे हुआ टूवर्ड्स हायर एजुकेशन. Now, how many students have received any award, any medal, have shown some outstanding performance in the sports, in the cultural activities, चाहे वो inter university हो, state level हो, intra university हो, national या international and so. So how can we keep record? By taking e-copies of those certificates, of those award letters, and we can submit it. We can show them during the accreditation program. Next is now presence of student council and its activities for institutional development and student welfare. Like ये सारी activities होती है, हमारी कल्चरल एक्टिविटीज होती है, स्पोर्ट्स एक्टिविटीज होती है, राइट। सो स्टूडेंट काउंसिल्स है, उसका पूरा स्ट्रक्चर दिखाना, राइट। मंथली मीटिंग्स की मिनट्स दिखाना, राइट। स्टूडेंट वेलफेयर के बारे में बात तो करते, बट वी हैव टू सबमिट रिपोर्ट ऑल्सो। Average number of sports and cultural events competition organized by the institution per year. We always talk about academics, but what we are doing beside academic activities, non-academics में हम sports, cultural events करवाते हैं, we have to submit a report. कोई competition करवाया national level पे, international level पे, state level पे, we have to submit a report. And in criteria 5, when we are talking about student support and progression, we cannot forget about the alumni. Now, this is the strength of this criteria, alumni. We have to submit a list of alumni. Abhi wo kahan pe hai, what they are doing, how they are supporting our students, present students. Are they supporting our students? Are they supporting slow learners? Kaise karenge unke hum alumni series design kar sakte hain, right? हम उनको इनवाइट कर सकते हैं एज अ गेस्ट स्पीकर्स कि अपनी जर्नी के बारे में हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को ब्रीफ आउट करें, एक्सप्लेन करें। दिस ओनली गिव्स अ मोटिवेशन और अच्छा लगता है फैकल्टी को भी, हाँ अपने हमारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं। एलुमनाई को अच्छा लगता है, यस दे आर कमिंग बैक टू देयर यूनिवर्सिटी, टू देयर इंस्टीट्यूट्स। सो एलुमनाई इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। इसके अलावा व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एलुमनाई, हाउ दे आर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग, राइट, किस तरह से वो कंट्रीब्यूट करता है। लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में जिम जब हमें खोलना था तो उन्होंने सपोर्ट करा। सो इसमें क्या है, लाइक इन टर्म्स ऑफ एलुमनाई एसोसिएशन, नेम ऑफ द एलुमनाई, क्वांटम ऑफ कंट्रीब्यूशन, एंड आल्सो वे ऑडिट स्टेटमेंट्स, receipts as a proof that they have done, they have contributed something. Criteria 6 is about governance, leadership, and management. Now, again, हम लोग ने curriculum के बारे में बताया, designing, development, we talk about teaching, learning, and evaluation, we talk about research, extension activities, innovation, startups. हमने बात करी infrastructure के बारे में, हमने बात करी student progression के बारे में. Now, governance, leadership, and management, which is very important. We हम कुछ भी करें, but we need a good management. We need a good environment. Now, in this 6.1 institution vision and leadership, the institution has clearly stated vision and mission, which are reflected in its academic and administrative governance. जो भी institution का vision है, that obviously reflect in the academics and in their governance. Now, again, areas of governance, of administration, of finance, of accounts, student admissions, support of examination. These are the areas which is covered under this. हम administration की बात करें, हम finance, accounts की बात करें, हम students की admissions की बात करें, और हम student support examination के बारे में बात करें. Now, for example, we have an ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, जहाँ पे हम अपने स्क्रीनशॉट डाल सकते हैं कि हम इस तरह से हॉल टिकट जनरेट करते हैं, इस तरह से हम रजिस्ट्रेशन करवाते हैं, इस तरह से स्टूडेंट की गवर्नेंस, हम ग्रीवेंसेस हम सबमिट करना है, राइट. देन इसके अलावा institution has a performance appraisal system promoting avenues, effective welfare measures for teaching and non-teaching staff. भाई आप टीचर की परफॉर्मेंस को किस तरह से अप्रेज करते हैं, परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल कैसे होता है, दैट नीड टू बी डॉक्यूमेंटेड. नॉन टीचिंग स्टाफ का परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल किस तरह से होता है, क्या प्रोसेस है, दैट नीड टू बी डॉक्यूमेंटेड. इसके अलावा वेलफेयर मेजर्स के बाद बात करें, किस तरह की वेलफेयर मेजर्स है, क्या फ्लेक्सिबल वर्क एनवायरनमेंट है क्या नहीं, फ्लेक्सिबल आवर्स पे वर्क कर सकते हैं क्या नहीं, पार्ट इस तरह की हम इसमें करते हैं. नेक्स्ट इज, क्या हम फैकल्टीज को फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट करते हैं टू अटेंड द कॉन्फ्रेंसेस, टू अटेंड द वर्कशॉप, राइट? क्या हमारी फैकल्टीज ने कहीं मेंबरशिप ले रखी है, वो फीस स्पॉन्सर करते हैं इंस्टीट्यूट या प्रोफेशनल यूनिवर्सिटीज, कहीं हमने मेंबरशिप ले रखी है किसी प्रोफेशनल बॉडीज की, जैसे मेरिट मैनेजमेंट एसोसिएशन हो गया आपका, अगर आप IFERB की बात हो गई, राइट? इसके अलावा बहुत सारे प्रोफेशनल बॉडीज हैं। देन हमारी क्या फैकल्टीज आपकी टाइम टू टाइम प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम आप यूनिवर्सिटी या इंस्टीट्यूट अरेंज करती है फॉर द ट्रेनिंग ऑफ योर टीचिंग स्टाफ, क्या हम उनको कहीं भेजते हैं फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम को अटेंड करने के लिए? सो अगेन वी हैव टू सबमिट रिपोर्ट्स इन द फॉर्म ऑफ डेट क्या थी, कब से कब तक भेजा, फैकल्टीज आपकी अटेंड करती है फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम AICT की, तो दैट नीड टू बी डॉक्यूमेंटेड। इसके अलावा टीचर्स आर अंडरगोइंग ऑनलाइन एंड फेस टू फेस फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम, किस तरह के प्रोग्राम्स अटेंड करते हैं, प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम्स हो गए, इंडक्शन प्रोग्राम्स हो गए, कोई रिफ्रेशर कोर्स करा है कि नहीं, शॉर्ट टर्म कोर्स करा है कि नहीं, so that need to be submitted in the form of report, right? Then funds or grants has been received from government bodies. Then institution has adopted the following for quality assurance, like academic and administrative audit, follow-up action has been taken, conferences, seminars, workshop of quality conducted, collaborative quality initiatives with other institutions has been done or not, orientation program on quality issues for teachers and students, right? Any other quality audit recognized by state, national, international agencies. So that is included in criteria 6. Now, when we talk about criteria 7, it is about institutional values and best practices. How our university is different, what we are doing for the society, what we are doing for the society, क्या values है हमारी institutions की, क्या हमारी social responsibilities है. Now 7.1 talks about institutional values and social responsibilities. What we are doing for the safety and security of a female faculty, of female students, हम cameras लगाते हैं, right? We conduct time to time counseling sessions for students, for the faculty members. Counseling is not only about the professional, कुछ family problems चल रहे हैं, we are providing counseling. अब students को counseling कर रहे हैं because they are facing some financial problem. तो उस तरह से हम counseling sessions करते हैं. Common rooms are there for girl students, right? For boys, daycare center for children of the staff. Crèche facilities है क्या नहीं? Obviously, when we talk about institutions, when we talk about university, 8-9 घंटे 10 घंटे we have to work. So what we are doing for our faculty members? So do we have a daycare center for the children of the staff? Then what we are doing for the energy conservation? Energy conservation के लिए आप क्या करते हैं? भाई हम लोग क्या है, solar panels, waste management प्रोग्राम से भी हमारा सॉलिड वेस्ट के लिए अलग है, लिक्विड वेस्ट के लिए अलग है, राइट? ग्रीन कैंपस है, बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस किया है, जैसे हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में रुद्राक्ष है. इंस्टीट्यूशनल डिस्टिंक्टिवनेस की बात करें, सो these are the 3 parameters which is very important in criteria 7: institutional values and social responsibilities, best practices and institutional distinctiveness. तो जब हम तीनों की बात करते हैं, again we have to do something for the society so that we can do a documentation. So thank you so much. In case any faculty has any question, they can ask.
Thank you very much, Preeti ma'am. It was really an enlightening lecture, and we all were totally lost in your lecture with your guidance. Whatever data you have given, how to compile this all was very important, as we all, our institution is also in the way of NAC accreditation. So we are supposed to have it soon in few months. So it was really very enlightening. We all have very vast knowledge about how to keep these all criteria updated, and by which way we can have a compiled data to be presented where the NECPEER team comes to our institution. So people are also with us on YouTube. So one question has came from one person that whether this can the organization, can the mission of organization be changed in long run? This question is been asked by Mohammed Azam. They wanted to know, can the mission of organization be changed in long run?
Mission can be changed in the long run,
Yes.
because things has been changed. आज 10 साल बाद नए ट्रेंड्स आ जाएंगे, नई चीजें आ जाएगी, नई टेक्नोलॉजी आ जाएगी, काम करने का तरीका बदल जाएगा, लोगों की रिक्वायरमेंट बदल जाएगी. So mission can be changed in long, but short run में mission change नहीं होंगे. Mission 2-2 साल, 1-1 साल में नहीं change होंगे. But आज मेरा mission है, but after 10 years I can change my mission, depending upon the situation, depending upon the new thing which is happening around the world. So mission can be changed in long run.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
And people have commented on YouTube that it was a very enlightening lecture and very good information has been delivered by Preeti ma'am. So on behalf of all the YouTube watchers, I would like to congratulate you that you have been successful in communicating the data collection issues as well as the documentation and digitalization. It is really very, we can say that it is the need of the hour because now in all aspects of teacher, teaching, and in this giving knowledge to our learners, it is being important for all of us to be digitalized and to use the proper channels to communicate with the students. So, ma'am, you have made a great effort to compile all these things, and you have given your time. So we all feel honored to have you here today in our second day FDP program. So now I would like to call upon Professor Lata Kumar, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to invite you for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Anita. महाविद्यालय प्राचार्य प्रोफेसर अन्वी सिंह मैम, हमारे सहयोगी पैट्रन प्रोफेसर अमर गर्ग सर, इस 7 दिवसीय राष्ट्रीय फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट कार्यक्रम उन्मेष की संयोजक प्रोफेसर अनीता गोस्वामी, आयोजन सचिव प्रोफेसर गीता चौधरी, इस मंच से जुड़े हुए महाविद्यालय के वरिष्ठ साथी, हमारी आज की मुख्य वक्ता डॉक्टर प्रीति गर्ग मैम, हमारे समस्त साथी और इस वर्चुअल माध्यम से जुड़े हुए शिक्षक और प्रतिभागी, उन्मेष का जो लक्ष्य है वो हम सभी के लिए किसी ना किसी रूप में सिखाना है हम सभी को। वैसे तो शिक्षक बहुत कुछ सीखे हुए होते हैं, लेकिन शिक्षक विद्यार्थी पहले होते हैं और हर समय उनके सीखने की आवश्यकता भी बनी रहती है, क्योंकि समय बदलता है, तकनीकी बदलती हैं, चीजें बदलती हैं, उद्देश्य, जैसा कि अभी आपका लास्ट का प्रश्न था, उद्देश्य भी बदलते हैं, संस्थानों के भी बदलते हैं, व्यक्ति के भी बदलते हैं, समाज के भी बदलते हैं, राष्ट्र के भी बदलते हैं और अंतरराष्ट्रीय स्तर पर भी लक्ष्य बदलते हैं। तो निश्चित तौर पर संस्थानों को उसके अनुरूप ही अपने आप को ढालना होता है। आपका जो आज का व्याख्यान था बहुत ही इंफॉर्मेटिव था और मेरी समझ से सभी के लिए, जो भी हमारे इस मंच से जुड़े हुए हैं, जिन्होंने अभी हमको सुना है या बाद में भी जो इस लिंक को क्लिक करके उसे सुनेंगे, उन सभी के लिए बहुत उपयोगी होगा। इसलिए आपने अपना बहुत कीमती समय और बहुत कम समय में आपने इतना अच्छा प्रस्तुतिकरण तैयार किया। मैं इसके लिए महाविद्यालय परिवार की तरफ से आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करती हूँ। हमारी सभी टीम की तरफ से आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और आभार, और साथ ही आभार प्रकट करती हूँ इस कार्यक्रम के संचालन के लिए प्रोफेसर अनीता गोस्वामी का तकनीकी सहयोग के लिए, और साथ ही साथ हमारी मीडिया समिति, रिपोर्टर समिति, डॉक्टर ज्योति चौधरी, डॉक्टर नीता सक्सेना, और जो भी साथी हमारे इस मंच से जुड़े हुए हैं, किसी न किसी रूप में सहयोग कर रहे हैं, उन सभी का मैं आज इस मंच से आज दूसरे दिवस के समापन पर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करती हूँ और उम्मीद करती हूँ कि हमारा आने वाला सत्र, कल का सत्र भी बहुत ही उपयोगी हम सभी के लिए होगा। जय हिंद, जय भारत। थैंक यू।
Thank you, ma'am, for giving me an opportunity. Thank you so much.
प्रीति मैम,
जी मैम।
आप सभी का आभार। थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू। आई वाज जस्ट चेकिंग अबाउट।
गीता मैम का जो सर्टिफिकेट है इस पर वो कर देना स्क्रीनशॉट अपने उसी।
ओके मैम, ओके मैम। मीटिंग एंड कर दो।